Hey, what's up, family? It's your man, Mark Black. I'm not going to be on for very long. I'm actually going to continue this discussion that I'm starting tonight, this coming Saturday for Sucker Free Saturday. Um, but I just felt the need to say what was on my mind real quick and kind of, address some things. Peace, brother Tazaba. I see you, fam. Welcome to the broadcast. Um, Over the last few weeks, as you all know, we've seen a lot of people out in the streets. Some of us getting it in, doing the work. Other ones out there dancing, singing, banging on drums, protesting. Let me make a quick adjustment here to my mic setup. I want to make sure that I address what I need to address. By the way, yes, brother Black man, I am okay. When I said self-care, some of y'all misunderstood. Y'all thought it was mental. No, as some of you know, I do suffer from various physical ailments, specifically non-specific fatigue and muscle spasms and things like that. And I just had a really rough go Saturday. And rather than subject y'all to not my best, I wanted to make sure that I was, feeling my oats when I come to speak to y'all, because y'all deserve the best of what I've got available. And I just didn't have anything in the tank Saturday. Wasn't that I'm fucked up in the head. By the way, thank you, brother Morpheus.
Peace, bro. Surprise broadcast.
Yeah, it is a surprise. I don't usually broadcast on Tuesday, but I got something that's sitting on my heart, and I'm gonna continue it a little bit more on Saturday, right, for Sucker Free Saturday. But I want to address something that I'm just going to keep it, full on 100%, right? We've seen a lot of shit go on the last few weeks. And a lot of it is maddening to many of us, especially the angry black sheep. We can see the futility in twerking and dancing and joking and hugging it out and kumbayaing and all this and that with the police. The fact is we've been basically occupied by the police as an opposing force since the beginning, since the founding of the original police forces in this country. They have been after us, period. Of all the changes that you've seen, they've donned uniforms, they've changed the shape of badges, they've added new laws, this, that, and the third. That's all perfectly fine and dandy, but the point of fact is that they have been after us since the beginning, period. The police were brought into place to address property issues. We were property. Ergo, the police came into being to address us. Now, surprisingly to some of you, white folks seem to have an issue with some of the doings of the police as well. So you seeing calls for defunding the police. Some of the more radical white folks are calling for abolition of the police, and this, that, and the third. So all well and good. If you thought that there would be reforms, any meaningful reforms, I am glad that you are being disabused of that notion. Trump gave a broadcast today where he basically said, kill him nicer. Right? Don't use the chokehold, as if the murder of George Floyd was via chokehold. It wasn't. He took a knee, buried it in his neck, and two other officers compressed his body to the point where he wasn't able to gain breath and he died. Right? Our sister Tatiana wasn't choked out by the police. She was shot and killed by the police. Breonna Taylor, shot and killed by the police. Right? Trump signing this executive order talking about the chokeholds are banned. Oh, except if the cop's life is in danger. Isn't that the justification they always use, fam, when they kill us? Oh, they were a threat to my life. I felt that my life was in danger, and so they justified the use of deadly force in killing this nigga. Right? Peace, by the way, Sylvia. I see you, sis. And white America is throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks. They're tearing down statues of people that we find offensive, that upholds a history we find disgusting. They're painting Black Lives Matter on streets and renaming streets as if we've never seen that before. The whole 9 yards. They're just throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks. The top ranking Democrats have made it clear no real reforms are coming. The Republicans have basically told us to go fuck ourselves, right? That they're not signing any legislation that commits to meaningful addressing of the police as an entity. And not a single one of them, neither Democrat nor Republican, is talking about any punishment of the police. No one is talking about punishing these bastards. No one is talking about locking these motherfuckers up for the rest of their life, or putting needles in their arm, or strapping them to a goddamn electric chair, or putting them in the gas chamber, or putting a rope around their neck. None of them are talking about punishing these sons of bitches. And that's bad enough. You feel me? That's bad enough. Okay? But now, we're still out there in the streets, acting like it's Mardi Gras, right? Pee-popping on the pavement and so on and so forth. Not to mention the fact that, with the hijacking, if you will, the centering of our LGBTQIA plus brothers and sisters because of Pride Month. Now it's gone from Black Lives Matter to, Black trans lives matter, or Black gay lives matter, right? These Black people pissed off because in every movement for Black life, we don't immediately center their little flavor of Blackness, right? Have hijacked the whole goddamn thing. Thank you, Brother Morpheus. I appreciate you, fam. Keep speaking health on me, man. I appreciate it. I really do.
Not religious, but blessings to your health situation. And yeah, speak on the WS Trickbags and how we turn protests into parties.
Oh yeah, fam. I mean, for a lot of Negroes out there right now, fam, it's a goddamn shit show. It's a party. It's a get together. We've been locked up for months. And so instead of going out there and actually demanding justice, no, we just want access to be outside. And sure, some of the more smart ones are ensuring, hey, fam, still practice social distancing, still wear your mask. Because, the Rona is still a motherfucking thing, in case you forgot. Not saying it should change what it is that you might be doing out there in the streets, but it is a consideration. But here's something to note. We're not even done mourning the losses of Brother George and Sister Brianna. We're still not yet complete in demanding what it is that we want as a people as far as justice. And now we're finding strange fruit appearing all over the country again. That's right. Brothers, sisters, hanging from trees like we're in the motherfucking Jim Crow South again. California's had what? 5 bodies found recently? Yeah, shout out to Sister Michi, because she's the one who actually inspired this broadcast. Because I am going to ride her coattails on this particular matter. And I'll explain what I'm referring to. But we're going to talk about it more in detail this Saturday. So now we're seeing the blossoming of strange fruit from various trees all over the country. So we're still out in the streets protesting, still out there demanding something because there's no goddamn organization to it, right? You got Black Lives Matter organizations hoovering up cash like the shit's going out of style because white people are feeling guilty, so they're virtue signaling by opening up the checkbooks. But meanwhile, we don't know where any of this money's going. You got people fundraising to get people out on bail who are participating in the motherfucking uprising and the protests and so on and so forth, who got millions of dollars to put people, to get people out of jail, but strangely enough, have only spent a few $100,000. Right? So everybody seems to be having this good ass time. But we got strange fruit appearing on trees again. And I ask myself constantly one single question. Just one. Shout out to Sister August, by the way. Shalom to you, sister. And Sister Adrian, peace to you, sis. Tab Liquor, peace. Be one to you. I know this was an impromptu one. It's not going to be long. By the way, shout out to my brother Christopher as well. I asked myself one question. How long? How long, fam, before we do what we know needs to be done? Let me clarify that. Let me be really clear. I shouted you out right at the beginning, Brother Tazabah. You know I'm not going to ever forget you, fam. But I'll give you some extra love. Shout out to my esteemed brother Tazabah. Shalom, fam. How long will it be before we do what we know needs to be done? What do I mean by that? Let me ask you a question. If your man Mark Black was to come into your community, come into your neighborhood, all right, and I grab your brother off the front porch of your house, and I dragged him into the front yard. By the way, shout out to my sister Taj. I see you, fam. And I took a stick, a baton, if you will, right? And I started beating the shit out of your brother right there in your front yard. And when he tries to fight me back, I pull out a taser. And I hit him with that motherfucker. Shout out to Sister Alma, by the way. Peace, sister. And then when he gets up and he tries to run away from me because I'm hurting the shit out of him, I fuck around and shoot him in the back. What are y'all gonna do to me if you're able to get hands on me? What's gonna happen to me? What's gonna happen to Mark Black? Put it in the chat. I just dragged your brother off your front porch, bashed him with a baton, tased him with a taser, and when he tried to escape from me, I shot his ass in the back. If y'all are able to get hands on me, what's gonna happen? What's the likelihood, family, that you will even let me leave the motherfucking yard, let alone the block? Okay? But let's say, magically speaking, Mark Black is a magic Negro with ninja powers that can dodge bullets like the Matrix, and I somehow make it away from y'all's house. I get away. What's the likelihood that you're not coming to look for me? You know what I look like. I didn't have on no mask when I was beating your brother up. Right? I snatched him off the porch right there in front of you. I took the stick to him right there in front of you. I pulled out my taser, zapped his ass, zzz, zzz, right there in front of you. You counted the pores on my face. You noticed the shape and the color of my glasses. You counted the motherfucking gray in the hairs of my beard. If I was able to get in my vehicle and drive away from you, odds are 30 seconds after that, there would be a vehicle following me wherever I was going. And when I stopped at a destination, wherever that destination was, there would be a gang of people getting out of that vehicle to come to do bodily harm to me. Why? Because I'm marked black, with an emphasis on black. Ain't no nigga gonna run up on my family and do a goddamn thing, is what you'd say. I'm damned if a nigga come and grab my brother off the motherfucking porch, beat him with a baton, tase his ass, and shoot him in the back. I'll kill a nigga. And you know what? You'd be right. If I committed such an injustice to you and your brother, you have every motherfucking right to deal with me as you see fit. That's not the part to consider. Where's that same energy with these motherfuckers? Replace Mark Black with Officer Unfriendly. Officer Unfriendly comes up on your front porch, grabs your motherfucking brother off the porch, takes a baton to his head, beating the fuck out of him. When he struggles to try to get away from him, he hits him with a taser. Zzz, zzz. Your brother gets up and try to run, and Officer Unfriendly puts 3 in his back. Why he get to leave the front yard? Let alone drive off the block. And if he does drive off the block, fine. Where's the car following Officer Friendly to his next destination? Where's the group of motherfuckers that as soon as he pulls up and stops that vehicle anywhere is jumping out to do him bodily harm? You see, family, people that say the shit like what I'm saying get told we're crazy, we're outrageous, we're too radical. But you do understand that the killings of our people at the hands of law enforcement isn't going to stop until that's what we're doing, right? You do understand that these strange fruit blossoms blossoming into the bodies of our family members hanging from tree branches isn't going to stop until that's what we're doing. You do know that, right? Because you have no problem figuring out that thought process when it's me, right? Like, we don't have to have a build. We don't have to have a discussion. We don't have to have shit when it's Mark Black that does that to your brother or to your sister or to your auntie or to your grandmother. Shout out, by the way, to Alexis. Shout out to John. Shout out to DJ J Blue. We don't have to have a long, drawn-out discussion on what needs to occur when it's Mark Black that does that, right? When it's Jerome, the homie on the block, that does that, right? When it's Raheem that do it. We don't have to have that discussion. We know exactly what the fuck needs to be done when it's us. But we lose that same energy when it comes to them. When it comes to them, no, we have to organize. We got to strategize. We got to do this, that, and third. We got to make sure our plan is airtight. Can't be no risk involved. Fam, do you know that being black, being a descendant of the enslaved here in the United States is a death sentence from the moment you're born? Haven't you figured that out by now? That you're not even supposed to be here. The moment you come out your mama's womb and get slapped on the ass by the doctor, pow, you were a miracle. You were a child of the impossible. You were never even fucking supposed to be here. And the moment you take that first breath, you are living on borrowed time. I didn't write that rule. I didn't make it that way. I'm fighting to make it not that way. But we ain't there yet. But you don't sit there, fam, and worry about the consequences of going to jail, getting killed by the cops, this, that, and the third, when you go in on a nigga. None of those goddamn consequences, none of that consequence talk. Oh man, if we go and shoot him, his people's gonna kill us. That's not what you hear. That is not what you hear when it's us. When it's us, we talking shit like, man, I don't give a fuck how many niggas he got at that house. I'll blow that motherfucker up to get my hands on him. That's right. When it comes to addressing your own people and injustice that you face from each other, you are perfectly willing to be judge, jury, and executioner. And you punish with the most heinous of punishments for the least crimes. You kill brothers and sisters for shit that cops would just give them tickets for.
The borrowed time statement was so real.
That's a fact, Morpheus. I'm sick of this shit where people telling us, oh, man, if we go out there and shoot up these white folks, they gonna kill us. Nigga, you already did. You are already living under a death sentence. You already have the sword of Damocles hanging by a hair over your head. Every descendant of the enslaved in the United States of America does from the moment they draw their first breath. You go and kill one of us on some humbug shit. I'll be damned if he talked to my bitch like that. Girl, what you mean? That's my baby daddy. She ain't gonna fuck my baby daddy. What? You go and kill another one of us on that humbug shit. But they come into our neighborhoods, hang people from trees, shoot them in the back, beat them with batons, tase them. And we got to have discussions. We need to have round tables. We got to have emergency action meetings. Nah, fam. The fact is that unlike a lot of people who will blow smoke up your ass, and fam, please make sure you support this video in some way, shape, or fashion, because you know this one ain't going to be monetized by YouTube. Not that I even give a fuck, but show some love, right? I'm going to tell you the truth. The truth is, fam, is that right now, a lot of us are having mental health issues because we're trying our level best to deny ourselves the truth. Just like they are killing us, we need to be killing them. Sorry, not sorry. We're sitting here talking about justice for Breonna. They still have not arrested those officers that killed Breonna. Fine. Let's go find them. And let's make sure that they ain't there to arrest. Is there a problem? You don't have to tell us how you're doing it. Fam, I'm not saying broadcast your plans to the world. Not at all. Not at all. But you know what the fuck is, you know what's to be done. You already know what's to be done. Kenneth was in jail trying to defend the life of him and his woman. She's dead. And you're asking for justice for motherfuckers who have made it clear they're not giving it to you. They're not looking to make any substantive changes. They're not looking to end the institutions that occupy our neighborhoods like a motherfucking military force. Fam, what else is left? If you already did, then like they say in the Game of Thrones, there's a group of people from the Iron Islands called the Ironborn. And their motto is that which is dead may never die. In other words, they can't kill something that was already born dead. Fam, if you already living on borrowed time, if they already looking to give you the consequences regardless of how little or how much you do, then what the fuck are you afraid of? Matter of fact, fam, I'm at the point
We are already dead. Let the sacrifice mean something.
Facts. Fam, I'm already at the point where I don't even give a fuck if they arrest those officers that killed Breonna. I don't even care. I don't care. Because that needs to be us handling that. The courts won't do it. They're dragging their feet. The goddamn the unions, the police unions, is sitting there defending the guy. The mayor's refusing to fire him or whatever the case may be. Talking about they got policies and procedures and shit that they gotta follow. Fuck their policy, procedures, and their laws, because they don't have no problem with violating the law when it comes to kill us.
Show you right, Brew Black. Facts.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Fam. Donald Trump talking about the chokehold is banned. The chokehold was banned when Pantaleo killed Garner. The chokehold was illegal then. Did that stop Pantaleo from killing Eric Garner? Did the law stop Pantaleo from killing Eric Garner? Y'all telling brothers and sisters that they need to tool up, but they need to do it legally. Why? Philando did it legally. Philando had a concealed carry permit. When he tried to show Yanez his goddamn carry permit, Yanez put 5 bullets in him. Right there in front of his woman and his girl. Y'all keep thinking that somehow or another we're going to do this respectably. That there's going to be ultimately respect from white folks when we do this right. If we do this right, fam, then white folks will have no choice but to respect us. I don't give a fuck if they respect us. I don't. I don't care if they respect me. If they can't respect me, goddammit, they should at least fear me. Sister Michi, by the way, shout out to my brother BJ, also known as the Bishop Red Pill. I see you, fam. Sister Michi asked a question. She said, how many of y'all show love to Nat Turner? How many of y'all lift up Nat Turner? How many of y'all lift up Harriet Tubman, right? Pop a one in the chat if you got reverence for Nat Turner and Harriet Tubman. I do. I surely do. Fam, Nat Turner showed us the way to liberation and was hanged, drawn, and quartered into 100 pieces, trying to teach us the way. Now, what's the way? Well, like the Bible said, there's a time for everything. To everything there is a season. There is a time for peace and a time for war. There's a time to live. There's a time to die. There's a time to reap. And there's a time to sow. We kept sowing peace, but we reap war. We keep trying to build, but they come to destroy. So why haven't we figured out that it's a different time? We've colored in the lines, fam. I'm not shaming you, black folk. I love you to death. I'm not shaming you. We colored within the lines. We've been playing by the motherfucking rules. Hell, for all the talk.
The SWS promote us to only revere MLK because he was passive and wrong. I'm sorry, but notice SWS doesn't uplift Nat as a hero. Or Malcolm X.
They're not going to either, Morpheus, because Nat and Malcolm told us a very important lesson, that you are going to have to get it by hook or by crook. Malcolm said by any means necessary. by any means necessary. Do you know what that means, fam? I'll tell you in case you don't know. What that means is that, like in the case of Nat Turner, when you run up on the plantation, Massa dies, Missy dies, Baby dies. Hell, if the cow might be used for our enslavement, for our domination, the cow dies. That's why they won't uplift Nat. Nat didn't discriminate when it came to delivering justice by age, sex, none of that shit. But you'll come shoot up my house with my motherfucking kids in it. You don't give a fuck if it's me. If it's Mark Black that does you an injustice, you will come and shoot up my house with my babies in it, my woman in it, the whole 9 yards. And there won't be ne'er concern or zero fucks given. And you know I'm telling the truth. But you won't ride down on these motherfucking cops. You won't run them out of our neighborhoods. When the system refuses to give you justice, you won't take justice. You won't give birth to justice when it comes to them.
There is a reason the system pushes MLK down our throat and ignores Nat Turner, Marcus Garvey, Malcolm, etc. The SWS don't do that by accident.
That's facts. That's facts. You know what we get told, fam, when we say shit like that? We get told what we can't do. Well, you know, Brother Black, not everybody's a member of the warrior class. Bullshit. Harriet can pick up a gun. Harriet did pick up a gun. And Harriet's gun was for 2 types of motherfuckers. White folks and black folks who couldn't get away from white folks. Who just couldn't leave the goddamn plantation behind. That they couldn't see a way off of it. Her gun and her bullets was for 2 types. Her oppressors and the people who couldn't see a way out of oppression. Because the fact is, fam, you ain't gonna save us all. That's a fact. There have been many who tried. Calls for unity. I'm sorry, but I can't unify with somebody who tries to put their sexual proclivities or their gender identification or some other fuckery over the fact that we share the same lineage, heritage, and have gone through the same crucible. I can't unify with that.
Notice how Killer Shine and T, gangsta rappers, started crying and talking about plot plans strategize when it was time to turn up. Typical sellouts.
Typical fucking bootlicks and sellouts. All these hardcore gangster rappers that y'all be bumping down the street when you're going to kill another black person. Them bitches, when white folks came in our neighborhoods and started killing us and this, that, and the third, they start talking about, yeah, we gotta do we gotta make our plan. We gotta plan our work our plan. We gotta do the master work. We got to play 4D chess. Bullshit. White folks ain't even playing 4D chess when they killing you, nigga. That's hearts. That's not even spades. They're not playing Texas Hold'em. They're not playing Risk where you got to strategize. They flipping a motherfucking coin. And when it comes up tails, your black ass is dead. You sitting here trying to play 4D goddamn chess with people that are flipping goddamn coins and going, does the nigger live or does the nigger die? Well, get him! Because for all this bullshit we talk about, Black Lives Matter, it really don't. It really don't. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, what about black on black crime? No, fuck that. That's not your man. That's not your man. No. But what I will say is that if you are quick enough to try and produce justice when the injustice comes from somebody that shares your same lineage, heritage, and background, you should be doubly quick to run toward justice, no matter the means, no matter what the process is, right? If it's somebody that's not us, right? If, in other words, if you're ready and willing to exact justice upon your own, which is clear that we all are, we'll jump all over a nigga. We'll end another nigga's career. We will end their life. We will ruin their family. We will do every motherfucking thing we think of to them. But you want to show mercy to people who ain't showing you none? What the fuck? And y'all all mentally fucked up. People logging off social media, crying and this, that, and the third. You know why you're crying, black man? You know why you're crying, black woman? Because you're not telling yourself the truth. You're not telling yourself the truth, and it's killing you. Because you can lie to me. You can lie to everybody else, but you cannot lie to yourself.
You a gangsta and made all your money off being one. But when Zaddy comes in, you start crying like a begging people not to riot and loot.
Facts. Facts. The white folks said, well, you know, we approve of the protests. I mean, you have every right to peaceably protest, but what about all the rioting and the looting? And T.I.'s like, y'all can't do this. This Wakanda. You know, ATL been good to us. Please. Y'all are mentally fucked up right now because you're trying to lie to yourself. Look up the concept of cognitive dissonance. You have to resolve the dissonance in your head. And the dissonance in your head is there because the reality of the circumstances is telling you what you need to do next. But you're trying to find a justification, a road out from doing what you know you have to do. Fam, you know what needs to come next. Why are we waiting on the courts? Why do we give a fuck about when they get arrested? Why do we care about prosecutions? Fam, at every step of the way, they got a trick bag waiting on you. Here, let me run it down for you real quick. Okay, first of all, cop comes and kills you. Takes your brother right off the porch, beats his head in with a baton, tases him up. When he tries to dip out, puts 5 in his back. All completely unjustified, right? A horrible injustice, a fucking tragedy. Okay, first place where they could fuck you. The prosecutor can just simply refuse to not even charge him. The police department can say, we investigated ourselves and we found no evidence of wrongdoing. There's fuckery. There's fuckery number one. Right? There's fuckery number one right there. They can just simply refuse to do nothing. A la Dred Scott. Your black life has no rights that any white person is bound to respect. Shout out to Judge Taney for telling the motherfucking truth of the matter. Okay. So let's say that somehow by a miracle, they do decide to fire this motherfucker. And the prosecutor is being pressed to charge him. Well, the prosecutor can just open up and convene a grand jury and hold a trial in front of the grand jury that helps to exonerate the police officer. And since grand jury proceedings are secret, you'll never know that the prosecutor was actually in there acting as a goddamn defense attorney for the cop rather than as a prosecutor for the people, and he'll never get a case. No true bill. That's fuckery. But let's say that we press that motherfucker so hard that he knows he can't play any grand jury games. So he goes ahead and he charges the cop. Here's what they can do. They can overcharge him, right? The cop might have made a mistake that killed our brother. It's still an injustice. He's still wrong, but it's something fucked up, but we understand how it could happen, right? That would usually be manslaughter. Involuntary manslaughter. Still, you go to jail. Still, you're fucking punished. But it's not a murder beef, right? But they'll charge him with murder one, knowing they can't prove intent, knowing that they can't prove motive or any of that shit. And so when a jury told what the statute states is murder one, looks at the case and said, well, wait a minute. We can't say murder one. The state hasn't established intent, hasn't established motive, hasn't established premeditation. We can't do it. So they'll overcharge the motherfucker. More fuckery. So let's say, though, that they decide to actually charge him properly and impanel a jury. Well, guess what? During the jury selection process, voir dire, they can stack the jury with people likely to be sympathetic to the motherfucking police officer through peremptory challenges. Usually prosecutors get 3 peremptory challenges to a juror. And peremptory means that they can say they don't want them and they don't have to give a fucking reason. They can say, I don't want juror number 12. They don't even have to give a reason. They don't have to say it's because that juror number 12 is a little too dark for our taste. They can say he's fat. They can say whatever. They don't have to say anything. They can peremptorily say, nope, I don't want juror number 10. So during the voir dire process, they can select a jury that's likely to be sympathetic to the motherfucking cop. And how would, mind you, pray tell, would a prosecutor participate in this process? Well, the prosecutor has the same number of options to be able to preemptively dismiss a juror. All they have to do is just fail to exercise that option to select jurors that are likely to be motherfucking sympathetic to the cop's defense. Fuckery. A la what happened to Michael Slager in the Walter Scott case. That was how he got a mistrial. They stacked the jury during voir dire. The prosecutor refused to strike jurors that would have been potentially sympathetic to the prosecution. And they stacked the motherfucking jury full of people that was likely to let Michael Slager the fuck off. But let's say that by some miracle, with a stacked jury, fucked up voir dire process, escaped the grand jury bullshit shenanigans, and all of that, you finally get to a verdict, and the jury finds this motherfucker guilty. Well, you still ain't done yet. Because after the trial phase comes the sentencing phase. You know, the part that we all want. What the fuck is the punishment? You found this son of a bitch guilty. He's a murderer. He's a manslaughterer. Okay, he's guilty. We can finally say it legitimately. This motherfucker's a killer. We want punishment. And then you end up with some bullshit like what happened to that motherfucker Peter Liang. You had a bunch of Asian folk come out and march talking about justice. Not for a Kai Gurley. Justice for Peter Liang. Justice for somebody who was found to be a goddamn killer under the color of law. And guess what? He gets nothing. He gets convicted and doesn't serve any fucking time. And you still think you gonna find justice in them courthouses for a Tatiana. You think you still gonna find justice in the courthouses for Brianna, for George, right? You still think that we gonna somehow go in there and justice is gonna magically be given birth in those goddamn buildings that look like old Roman temples dedicated to their gods, right? George Zimmerman, another motherfucker. Why is George Zimmerman still walking around? The motherfucker was arrested in the ATL on some drunk driving shit. You couldn't get hands on him in the county jail? You're mentally fucked up right now. A lot of you are stressed out. A lot of you are angry. A lot of you want to cry. You fucked up. But I argue that the only reason why you're fucked up is because you're denying what you know your mind is telling you needs to be done. We can continue to do politics. We can continue to try to pursue legal angles. We can continue to fundraise. We can continue to protest. And we can put some motherfucking bodies in the dirt. It's not an either or thing. It is a both and proposition. We can do all of those things and this too. So my question remains the same. When are y'all ready? When are y'all ready? You don't have to tell me. You don't have to tell me, fam. You do not have to tell me. You don't have to tell nobody. Micah and Cosmo did not tell anybody anything. They disavowed, as a matter of fact, their connections to any groups, any organizations, and they went out and handled that business. Allegedly. There was no trials, so I say allegedly. Shout out to Saints Micah and Cosmo. Shout out to Saint Nat. You can sit there and sing hymnody to the angels until the cows come home. You can reach out the hand of love. It's all fine and dandy. There's a time for that. There's a place for that. Do that shit in church. Do that shit at y'all diversity meetings at work. When you out there in them streets, just like it would be with us if it was us victimizing you, kill or be killed, that same energy goes for them. Let there be a rash of buckra constituting strange fruit hanging from trees across the nation. Let there be a rash of police officers, both current and former, whose lives end under mysterious circumstances. And let's see what changes then. Let's see what changes then. Right? You know, Corinne had her baby boy, Cody, and her little one in the house with her when them cops came in there and killed her in front of her son, shot Cody in the arm. I had a video of Cody giving his testimony from his hospital bed on my old channel. Little 5-year-old Cody, he's just the cutest little thing. Motherfucker told his story clear as a bell. He was so erudite, so clear-minded, that he was able to tell us the complete story of his mother's demise. Corinne knew what needed to be done. Ain't no talking to these pigs. Ain't no discussion we can have. There's no motherfucking confabs that we need to go over. There's no emergency action meetings we need. There are no commissions that we need to constitute. There are no corporate bodies that we need to have discussing this matter ad nauseum. No. After, 300 plus years of the slave catchers? Fam, if you don't know what it is by now, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. Your heart is telling you that some of these motherfuckers need to go away. Some of these people need to become fertilizer. Some of these people don't deserve to see the inside of a courtroom. Courtroom process and all of that is too good for them. They can look at you and say, if you commit a criminal act, a courtroom is too good for that nigger. Just kill his ass to save ourselves the money of a trial. What, that's not the case with these white supremacists out here killing us? Fuck the police unions. They got offices. They got files, offices. They got shit that they can lose. You don't. You were born dead already. What you got to lose? Oh, Brother Blake, we're going to go to jail. So? 1 in 3 black men are going to go to jail sometime in their motherfucking life any goddamn way. I should say 1 in 3 of us are going to prison. I lost count how many of us have been to jail. There's hardly a black man that you could talk to that ain't got a story of getting arrested and going to jail on some humbug shit. Fam, I've been to jail so many times I lost count. Like, I don't even count jail. Until they convict me on some shit and actually put me into a prison, I don't even count. I don't even count jail. Been in there a day, 2 days, 5 days, 4 days, a week. I don't even count that shit no more. I've been to jail so many motherfucking times. Oh shit, I didn't even do. I'm telling you, on some humbug shit. So if you already gonna go to jail or prison on some humbug shit, on some shit where you was accused by some Karen or some Becky or some Chad or some Brad of having committed an offense, and all you did was commit the offense of being black in this motherfucker, then what the hell do you care? Your heart's telling you what needs to be done. All you have to do is decide that that's what needs to be done. You need to stop removing options off the table for black folk. I don't want to hear no more bullshit about what we can't do. What we can't do in our pursuit of justice. What we can't do in our pursuit of gaining restitution, remediation, restoration, and repair after 401 years of fuckery. There's no option off the table. None. No option off the table. I don't want to hear shit from you. Matter of fact, I'm going to leave y'all with the title of Saturday's broadcast. And I can't take credit for it. I'm going to have to shout out Pharaoh Otten. Brother Pharaoh from Pharaoh Says That. If you're not subscribed to his channel, please make sure you do so. He's a strong advocate for our tribe and a beautiful motherfucker. I love that old elder brother to death. And he keeps it a full-on ass buck. Our brother Pharaoh said, and I quote, "Black people, shoot or shut the fuck up." That's the time we're living in. That's the time we're living in. Fam, shoot these motherfuckers or stop crying. Just count the bodies as another cost to doing business. Seriously. You can save yourself the heartache. You can save yourself the need for mental health care, getting off of social media. You can save yourself the need for all of that by just accepting the reality that it's time. As is everything, there's a season. It is the season of either shooting these motherfuckers or shutting the fuck up. Your protests ain't doing shit. You too scary to burn anything down because, oh, look, it's the white people burning stuff down, not us, right? So you're not ready for that smoke. So if you're not ready for the smoke, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. I don't care if you're mourning the loss of another motherfucking brother or sister. Who gives a fuck about your pain? Our enemies don't. And you're not giving enough of a fuck about your pain to actually do something to heal it. So if you're not at this particular point in our struggle in this motherfucker willing to add shooting, maiming, cutting, stabbing, breaking, burning, all of that onto the table along with all of the other shit that we've already been doing, if those options are off the table, I don't want to fucking hear from you. I don't want to hear shit from you. Because we've tried it your way. We've protested and pee-popped and hugged it out and had barbecues and waved flags and made slogans and fundraised and organized and strategized and plotted master plans. And guess what? They snatching and grabbing brothers off the street and we finding their bodies hanging from motherfucking trees. I'm sorry, but I think it's time to add something else to the mix. Shoot these motherfuckers. Why are you sitting there waiting on the motherfucking prosecutor to do their job? They've made it clear they're not going to do their job when it comes to you. They will lock your black ass up, but they will not lock their white ass up. And it's built into the system, fam. That's the crazy part about it. You keep hoping from reform because you think the system is broken. The system is not broken. It is not broken. America is not broken. It is working as designed. Your demise is not a bug, black man, black woman. It is a feature. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? America works just fucking fine. Your hard-ass life, your struggle, your ultimate social demise leading up as a prelude to your physical demise is not a bug of America's functioning. It is a feature. And every immigrant that comes here signs on to that. They are all on board with that feature. They understand that their future prosperity lies in the ability of America to work to end the descendants of the enslaved. So you got no help coming from anybody who's not white but ain't us. You still in 2020 trying to educate white people. Educate them to what? Educate them about what? I'm still trying to figure that out. What is it that you think they don't know about what they've been doing to us? You got these silly ass bootleg politicians out here talking about we need a Truth and Reconciliation Commission. Why? Why do we need more trauma porn for America to consume? So instead of seeing a murder of one of our brothers and sisters in the street by law enforcement, we get to replay back the last 400 years of trauma for America's consumption. Then they sitting there with popcorn and they motherfucking iced tea talking about shit. I'm here for this. Damn, yeah. Y'all did that to niggas? Oh my God, I had no clue. That our tax money's supposed to go toward that. We don't need no motherfucking education. America don't need no education. America don't need no education. It knows exactly what it has done, what it is doing, and what it will continue to do if we allow it. America is not clueless. White America knows exactly. Fam, the outrage in that incident in Central Park, right, with the brother that was there birding and that bitch that had the dog on the leash, you know, that Karen that had the dog on the leash. The outrage from that incident wasn't the fact that she called the cops on a black man. No, the outrage by white people was that she said the quiet part out loud. She knew exactly what she was instituting, and she told him out loud. That was the outrage for white folks. If you really want to know why they upset at that circumstance in New York with Amy Cooper and whatever Christopher Cooper, right? If you want to understand why they were upset, it wasn't the fact that Christopher Cooper got the cops called on him and he was completely innocent. White folks don't give a fuck about that. They know you're innocent and they will call the cops on you. They don't give a fuck about that. They did care slightly about the dog. We know white folks care about dogs, right? So they cared a little bit about the dog she choked. There was some outrage about that. No, the outrage, the real outrage in that incident for our fellow white citizens had nothing to do with the fact that she was threatening to use the instrument of the state as a means to lynch Christopher Cooper. The outrage came because she said the quiet part loud. She told him to his face, I'm going to call them and say that an African-American man is attacking me. That bitch knew. That bitch knew. She knew. How you gonna educate somebody who already know? Make it make sense. She knew when she pressed 911 on the phone what she was trying to do. And she said it. She told him to his face, I'm going to use the machinery of the state to come and kill your black ass because you're annoying me. because you're black in my presence. And that annoys me. She said the quiet part out loud. Them motherfuckers already know about what happened during slavery. They already know what they did to us during Jim Crow. They already know about convict leasing, debt peonage. Hell, the records are there for them just like they are for us. You know all the books and shit that we read? The Color of Money, the Color of Law, right? About redlining, the story, The Half Has Never Been Told, slavery and capitalism. All these books that we read, right? From Here to Equality, Dr. Darity's new book. All the books we read, that comes from source information. Who do you think holds that source information? Last time I checked, I don't know no niggas that own libraries. Half of you don't even know what microfiche is. Fam, they were able to try the Nazis at Nuremberg. Why? Because the Nazis kept meticulous fucking records down to train movements and the times that trains arrived at certain stations with certain numbers of Jews on it. I keep trying to tell you that there's no secrets to white supremacy. You keep thinking that there's some sort of fucking sick, twisted, in the background master plan that's a conspiracy or cabal of rich OFAs. No, there doesn't need to be any of that. Just like we know what they done to us, they know what the fuck they done to us. But we need to educate them. Nope. This is not a time for education. This is not a time for reconciliation. Let's talk about reconciliation real quick before I go. Fam, how can we talk about reconciliation when we've never had conciliation? Let's look up the meaning of conciliation. Conciliation is the action of mediating between two disputing people or groups. Okay? That's directly from the dictionary. The action of mediating between two disputing people or groups. Unquote. Okay? That is conciliation. When have we had that? When have we ever had any real mediation between white America and black America, where we could openly address our grievances and expect redress, and they come as honest actors to the table? When the fuck have we ever had conciliation? But they expect us to jump from complete cold and sometimes hot war with white America to reconciliation when we've never even had conciliation. Words have meanings. Truth and reconciliation. Reconcile what? We haven't even had conciliation. We haven't even conciliated from the initial grievances. We've never had an honest sit down where we said, okay, this is what we want. This is what we all know's going on. How do we fix the problem? And we both come to the table as honest actors. That's never fucking happened. So don't talk to black people about reconciliation. We've never had conciliation. And at this particular point, as the red people used to say, the fork-tongued devil, you can't trust the motherfucker even if he's reaching out for conciliation. No, until we have made this hurt them enough, we can't trust any overtures that they make toward us. That's a fact. We haven't really done anything to white supremacy. Burning up a few cities and shit hasn't really affected white supremacy. We've irritated them. That's it. And we've already clearly established that we don't have the stomach for a long, drawn-out affair with white supremacy. We've already established that. When you can go to a protest and it looks like a goddamn street carnival rather than a goddamn WWE brawl, there's nothing else to talk about. There's nothing else to fucking talk about. When you could go to a protest and the shit look like Mardi Gras. So you ain't done, we ain't done nothing. We ain't done nothing to them. So any overtures that they make toward us at this point is only designed to do one thing. Because there's another definition of conciliation. The action of stopping someone from being angry. Placation. Oh, y'all thought I was going to leave that behind? The act of stopping someone from being angry. Placation. Right now, fam, they're trying to placate you. Placate means to pacify, to calm you. That's real talk. Every single overture white folks is making as a collective toward us right now is simply to get niggas to shut the fuck up. And guess what?
As soon as we hear truth and reconciliation, red flags and should go off, and the person saying it should be seen as an enemy. South Africa had that and they are still fighting apartheid. It's a trick.
Absolutely. It's a goddamn trick. Fam, guess what? The fact is that it's working. They've placated you. They put Black Lives Matter Street right in front of the White House. You know, flipping the bird to old Orange Palpatine. Right? Up here in Seattle, they got the CHAZ, the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone. And the mayor is calling it a summer of love. And all of a sudden, that righteous anger that should have you tearing this motherfucker down brick by brick has been placated. So it's been conciliation for white folks. But not in the sense of mediating between two disputing groups to resolve the actual dispute. No, they've conciliated to placate you, to shut you niggas up, to calm you the fuck down, so that they can go back to business as usual, so they can pretend to ban chokeholds like the cops are going to obey the law. And even when they do kill you with the chokehold, there's no teeth, there's no punishment. Nobody's going to jail. Nobody's dying. Chop, CHAZ, whatever. Right? I think it means Capitol Hill occupied place or something like. I forget the stupid acronyms. They're good for acronyms. It's all placation. The governors are practicing an old tried and true strategy of white supremacy. Appear to fall back to placate you, to give you the appearance that they're hearing you, to give you the appearance that they heard what you said. They keep talking. They keep saying, we hear you. We understand your concerns. We feel your pain. So they make a pretend retreat, a strategic fallback. Let you play around a little bit. Let you dance and sing and think everything is all gravy. Then after they've regathered their resources, or maybe even instigated violence using other means, because you got that group, the Boogaloo Boys and all these other white supremacists that want to start a hot race war, a hot civil war with us, right? They might just let them run up in there. Then they come with the smackdown.
I cannot emphasize how dangerous truth and reconciliation is. They use that exact phrasing in essay and then continued WS. It's a deadly WS trick bag.
That's particular facts right there, Morpheus. This truth and reconciliation bullshit is game. And any black person that supports it's a goddamn traitor. They don't deserve anything but a short drop and a sudden stop. Black dollars, I hear you, fam. But what I'm saying is stop wasting your time strategizing so goddamn much. I'm not saying go out there and be stupid. Please, black family, don't be stupid. We're much smarter than these idiots, right? So be smart, but do something. Shoot these motherfuckers or shut up. There is never going to be any fucking respectable means by which we get our due. None. We're going to have to beat and drag and kick and hurt America, screaming bloody murder to the table for our justice claim. No other way is going to work. No other way is going to work. People like to throw up Gandhi in our face. Let me tell you something. Gandhi was shit. The British Empire would happily still own India today if it was left up to Gandhi. But a good thing it wasn't. Because the Sikhs and the Muslims in India was giving motherfucking Britain that work. I understand that some of y'all have certain feelings about MLK. I don't share necessarily all of your feelings about the brother. I respect his stance. But understand, MLK was supposed to be a part of a juxtaposition. That's where the civil rights movement fucked up. That's where it fucked up. MLK was supposed to be part of a juxtaposition presented to white America. The juxtaposition was supposed to be this. You can either do it the way that Martin's talking about, right? Peaceably, through legislation, through legal processes, and so on and so forth. Or you can get the fire. Martin was supposed to be one half of an equation. We have the option, white supremacy, to do this the easy way. Or we can do this the hard way. The choice is yours. We were supposed to be presenting America with a Fleece Johnson moment. You remember Fleece Johnson, the booty warrior? Right? He said we could do this the easy way or we could do this the hard way. We were supposed to present them a juxtaposition. If you want peace, prepare for war. Which is why nobody respect us. Nobody respect black folk. Nobody in this country respect black folk. Why? Because they know they can come up in our neighborhoods willy-nilly. We don't have nobody there watching at the intersections that lead into our communities with motherfucking gateways and shit saying, what's your business in our community? You know that's not illegal, right? It's not illegal for you to set up checkpoints, roadblocks, choke points into your neighborhood. You know, there's no law that says you have to let people just willy-nilly come up into the areas in which you live. There's no law that says you have to go everywhere solo so that somebody driving by in a goddamn white van with no windows can just snatch your ass off the street. Why aren't you moving in groups? Why don't you have different brothers and different sisters trained on different shit? One's communications. That person's handling the filming, the audio of situations that go down. Another person or another two people are the fighters. They're the ones who jump up front, that take the brunt of whatever's coming off the street or whatever is coming toward the group. The other ones are flankers. They flank the group of opposing forces that come. They're not sitting there filming the shit. They'll go to the other side of the street just so they can get around the police so that when they fucking with the frontline fighters, they can come in from the side. Small unit tactics. Create choke points, bottlenecks, where these motherfuckers can. Man, our communities need to be like roach motels. You can check in, but ain't no guarantee you can check the fuck out. You're fucked up in the head again, fam, because your heart is telling you what the truth is. The truth is that we're tired. And when black people say we tired, we're not talking about we physically tired, like, oh, we tired. Shit's over with. I need to chill out. No, I'm tired, fam. I'm sick and tired. Now, when we get sick and tired, fam, you know what that means. Talking is done. Understanding zero. Fucks given zero. Time to do work. Your understanding becomes zero when it's you and me. All your brother Mark Black is saying, keep that same energy. The Democrats are going to lie to you and claim to be working on your behalf, claiming to be fighting for reforms. The Republicans ain't even going to bother to lie to you. They want to see you get shafted and fuck you. Right? Trump has made that clear. The majority leader, the turtle, right? Mitch McConnell's made that clear. Tim Scott, the bootlick from South Carolina, has made that clear. Right? The Republicans ain't giving you shit. Because no matter what the Democrats say they want, the Republicans can shut it down in the Senate, so you're not getting shit. But even if the Republicans don't, even if they rebel against Trump, Trump got veto. And it won't be a veto-proof enough motherfucking majority to do anything specifically for you. Politics ain't the fight we need to fight right now. The Supreme Court just upheld that Title VII or Title IX or whatever it is protects LGBT and trans people and all this and that and the third. Meanwhile, who remembers that case that BA brought before the Supreme Court suing Comcast under the Civil Rights Act of 1867 or whatever, and they told us, but for, right? If they had any other reason other than racism, you can't say that it was racism. Did you notice that BA quietly settled out of court with Comcast and now he gets 3 new channels? So much for your motherfucking political capital, right? That ain't the fight we need to be fighting right now. Sorry. I want to see a city burn for the next black life that I have to watch die at the hands of either law enforcement or one of their self-aggrandized, deputized, goddamn vigilantes. I want to see the motherfuckers put in the dirt. I don't want to wait for a goddamn trial. Look, I'm no better than white America. You want to get mad at me? You want to say, well, that makes you just like white folks. Fine. Because guess what? What they're doing to us gets results. You kill a few niggas hanging them from the trees and you can placate 38 million motherfuckers. I'll see you Saturday, fam. Shoot or shut the fuck up is coming. Until then, as always, I love you. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight, letting me talk. Fam, you don't have to tell me what your motherfucking work is. Just do the work. You don't have to be a frontline fighter. Support one. Stop snitching. Stop putting people's faces on motherfucking videos. If you see somebody out there committing an injustice, record it if you're able to. But if not, get in there and fight. Fam, dying is scary. I don't want to die either. I don't want you to go out there and die for your people. I want you to live for us, right? But there can't be no more peace. There cannot be no more peace. You can't sit here and tell white America no justice, no peace. And that shit just be a slogan. They're hanging your brothers and sisters from trees. Just like they did to our forebears. No more peace. No more talking. No more talking. No more discussions. No more round tables. No more motherfucking confabs. No more builds. None of that. To everything, there is a season. And I'm sorry, but it's the season for blood to fertilize the soil. You can take that however the fuck you want to take it. We'll talk more Saturday, fam. I love you. Peace to you all. Shout out to everybody that joined me during the broadcast. Fuck the Democrats. Fuck the Republicans. Fuck all of them. Fuck white supremacists. Fuck performative ass allyship from so-called brown allies and Asian allies and Latin allies. We don't have no allies. We don't have no motherfucking friends. You still on that shit in 2020, you stupid. We ain't got no fucking friends. There's just you. There's just me. There's just us. You don't like that? Well, damn, fuck you. I can't save you. So fam, until next time, peace.